Hi, I wanted to come back to this theme about talking about extroversy, introversy. I mean, whether you're an extrovert or introvert, whether you're loading your energy from interaction with others or if you need to be on your own, in your own mind, and in that way recharge your batteries. I recently had an experience that really got me thinking about this. In these times, it's everybody's starting to exercise, right? It's the New Year's resolutions. You're starting your new life, and groups are, restarting again after the Christmas holidays and stuff. So they're probably interested in attracting some new members. I was visiting one club. I've just recently started doing jujutsu, some self-defense martial arts. I really enjoy it. But I really realized that there are many ways why you might enjoy such training. I went to visit a new club. I'm traveling, as you see, I'm in this hotel room visiting a company, and I thought I might as well just try to discover a new place to exercise because I don't want to miss out. And Googled it up, went there, and it was Monday. I had a wonderful experience. The people welcomed me when I stepped into it there. I mean, I had no idea. It was very simple place, but they really took their time to learn my name, welcome me to the group, asked me if I needed anything. All during the exercise, we trained for like an hour and a half. They were very much into, pushing us into talking to each other, learn new names, connect with everyone, making sure that we really, enjoyed being there. It was a very welcoming, warm attitude, funny. I had a wonderful time. I mean, immediately I just love these guys. I'm like, wow, I wish I could be here more often. I'm like, I would even move here. I mean, if the opportunity came up, I'd love to train with these guys on a regular basis. That was my first encounter with them. So actually, I saw the next day there will be another training, slightly different, but still connected to Jiu-Jitsu, even more connected to the training I'm doing in Malmo. So I thought, what a great opportunity. I'll go there again. It was such a nice club. Went there. It was all different. I mean, the leaders wasn't the same. And I can't say it was bad or anything, but me being an extrovert, really thriving with, talking to other people, getting recognition by us. They see me, I see them. They giving me feedback, positive. Oh, you did that good, or all that positive atmosphere that existed the day before was not existing the other day. It was, and this is super cool because usually we say there's a culture in the walls. I mean, things stick to the walls. In this place, nothing stuck to the wall, and usually that's not the case because what's sticking to the wall, or the culture we're feeling, is through the person's behaviors, how they act. And these guys, they acted differently. I can't really say why, but I have a feeling that it might has to do something with introversy versus extroversy. See, during this training, it was much more calm, restricted. We do reflection before we train. It's sacred, moksu, and we didn't do that first day. I was like, wow, these guys are really laid back on the rules here because that's what I'm used to. Like, it's strict, it's confined, I could love that, it's very structured, gives me a peace, focus. We started training, all very silent, very technical. There wasn't a lot of sharing. You could hear that the atmosphere was more calm, focused. I like that too, but it was different. And I started training with individuals. I mean, we trained, it was good, it was much calmer. Even one guy, he surprised me so much. This is so funny because, and this is where you can learn something about other people. I listened to the instructions, he did too. I felt, okay, let's do this. I'm all action oriented, like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see how it feels in my body. We were going to do a throw. But this guy, he was different. He was a young guy, and he stopped and he's like calculating and kind of going totally disconnecting from me and started calculating the forces. He's like, I just got this thing in my head. He said 75 kilos in motion. Wouldn't that be like 95, 100, 110? And he was doing all these calculations in his mind, but he was sharing it with me. Like, and I was like, what are you doing, dude? We're here to exercise. I mean, mathematics, you could do that in school. I was being annoyed because, I want to have as many repetition as possible to really learn the stuff, because that's how I learn. No, he was different. He wanted to figure it out. I mean, there's a logic to it. And really there is. And I respect him for this. But just in that moment, it totally annoyed me. See, there is a logic behind the movements. Even how you place your feet. The moment you raise your hand. Where you put your pressure. How you push the other. The movement. Everything is really beautiful. It's very thought out. I usually don't see this because I'm just in there engaging, doing it. And that's how I learn. And I mean, I love to then get feedback. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I mean, okay, so this is how I'm supposed to do it. And I'm trying again. Now this guy, he was different. He was picturing himself, figuring it all out, and able to later execute it beautifully. 2 ways, different ways of creating a result, learning. And this happens at work as well. I mean, I've seen it so many times. There are people who just want to go at it. I mean, let me do it. Don't explain too much. Let me have my experience, and then you tell me if I'm right or wrong, and then we'll, reconsider and I'll develop. Whereas others like, okay, I want to really understand this. Give me the facts, give me the logics behind this, and they take their time analyzing, and that they can still execute brilliantly. And again, I mean, which one would you prefer to have on your team? Could you really say? There are, strong sides in both sides, and there are weak spots. I mean, the introvert might take too much time. If we are in an environment where we need to test something, and where we gain experience from testing, I mean, it doesn't matter really how much you analyze in that phase. You just want to test and gather more information and gather more feedback from your audience or from your peers or whoever is the target group in that case. On the other side, the very action-oriented people, they might waste a lot of resources because they're just keen on acting and gaining experience that way, when they could have really saved some resources, some time and energy by taking a step back and reflecting, and then decide upon which of the decisions to do, A or B. Also depends on what kind of work you're doing, how fast-paced is it. If it's science, I mean, we had a horrible case in Sweden, an Italian doctor. I mean, nothing bad about Italians, but this guy was an Italian. That's how I remember him. And, he was probably super engaged in artificial throats, and wanted to help people with artificial throats. And he gained experience by testing, but his tests were bad. I mean, they kicked him out of, it was big scandal. I mean, I don't want to have a doctor like that. It's like, I have an idea about something. We could try it, I'm all for that. During an exercise of martial arts, fine, if it doesn't mean I'll end up dead if we, fail. In some circumstances, in some areas, I mean, nuclear power, very restricted and confined areas of work where you really need to be thought through and follow procedures, then you might not want extroverts. Extroverts might not thrive in such conditions. Whereas on the other side, the introverts might not thrive too much in a creative work. Marketing used to be a very extrovert area of work, but nowadays it's also much about measuring. It's kind of cool actually how this is shifting, but I'm just saying, to me personally, you shouldn't judge a person, their capacity of delivering results based on whether they're extroverts or introverts. It's much more complicated than that. You need to take it into consideration, and I think it's good if people are aware of their preference, because it means that they are ready to take accountability for their own energy. Me being an extrovert, I know I need the engagement with others, and that will help me to seek such circumstances for myself. I could be doing the same job as an introvert who just might have different ways of reaching perhaps even the same result. My colleague could be using his time differently, researching more, maybe taking more time off to disconnect and get their mind around it that way. And who's to say really which is the best? Often I see very biased HRs or managers seeking the same preference as themselves because that's what they recognize as good. Like, I create results this way and I'm a great person. I want others to be just as great. So I'm seeking another one just like me. Where really, and I've seen this so many times, even in my own companies, I could thrive in combination with a person with a different preference because they see things differently. They take their time, in the case of introversy, to think things through. And I gain that knowledge then. I gain their perspective by having them with me on the team. I mean, someone said it's bye-bye, I don't want so, because you're too slow, they might hear, or, doesn't work with me. I need people to be around me and be very creative and, we try things on before we think about them. So much to say about this, really. I mean, I'd love to hear your perspective on this as well. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Have you own experience about this? Are you good on your workplaces to integrate both perspectives? And are you gaining from this, or is it just a problem? Reach out to me, comment, I would love that. You find me on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Medium. Tell me where I should be if I'm not where you used to be. I'm super happy that you found the vlog, and I'll be right back next week with another great movie, hopefully, about how to really create rapport and trust in workplaces, because that's my mission. I want to help people to really connect with each other and create good cooperations, because to me that's sustainable relationships, and that's exactly what we need in these times. Solid, sustainable, trust-based relationships. And to me that comes from understanding that we are different. If you can't accept that, we have a problem. Reach out to me and I'll happily talk to you. Take care. Bye.